Welcome to Maestropia. My name is Matt Savina. We're going to be going over Kings and Queens by Ava Max. And as you can see, and as you probably already know, we're going to be covering the piano. And we're going to be going over the chords in the right hand, and then the bass notes in the left hand. Now I could do octaves. We could do octaves if we wanted, but I'm just going to play with one bass note just to keep it simpler for those of you who are just getting started, maybe for the first time working on this song or working on a contemporary song at all. So, and I'm going to talk about some of the strategies, some of the common things that I do if I'm trying to learn a pop song really quick, whether if somebody's going to sing along with me or I'm going to sing for myself or play in a band. I'm going to cover some really good things that you'll want to know that work on pretty much any pop song that you want to play on the piano. Okay, so if you look at this sheet that I wrote out for you, it gives you the roadmap of the chords. So at the top, that's just showing you the order of the chords. The verses and the choruses are the exact same chord progression. So we have C sharp to F sharp minor, both minor, and then B to an E major chord, and then A, back to F sharp minor, G sharp minor, and C sharp minor. So that's the chord progression. If I play that up to speed, it's going to sound like this. Oh, sorry. Sounds like the song, right? So there at the top of the page, you have the four measures is what it is. Not that we need to worry about the music theory side of it right now. And then in the middle, top middle of the page there, we have I'm showing you how to build those chords on the keyboard. So if you look at C sharp minor, the first one, we have a G sharp, a C sharp, and an E. And then that's how you build that chord on the piano. So, and you'll notice that all the chords are going to be right in this little area of the piano. So this is middle C on my piano. Yours might be in a different place depending on how many keys you have on your keyboard. But, you know, find middle C. It should sound like this. And then, like I said, all the chords for this whole song, well, I think we go up as high as this later for a chord. But basically in this one octave here is where all of our chords going to be. And then really simple for the bass notes, whatever chord you're playing, so if it's a C sharp minor chord, then I'm going to play a C sharp, a single bass note in the left hand. So the left hand is like the bass guitar. Right? So that's what the bass guitar would be doing, is those single notes. And then the guitar or the piano would be doing these chords. Okay? And then when we put it together, we got sort of the one-man band over here. Okay? So if you're confused at all about how to find the notes, you know, if you have a full-size piano, the note on the farthest left-hand side, the lowest note on your keyboard, is an A. So I know you probably can't see it right now on my camera, but A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, if you know this is a C, right, this is an important one to start with. Look for two black keys, any pair of two black keys. The note right before and below that first black key of the two is a C. So C, 2, here's a C, and so on. So you can find all the C's. So that's usually, middle C is usually a good place to start and just to know where you're at in the piano. And then once you know where C is, you can backtrack and go C, B, A. Okay, now I know the musical alphabet, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and over again. So you can find C's and then backtrack to find, you know, B and A, and then, you know, it takes a little bit longer to get good at it going backwards if this is C, B, A, and now you have to do reverse alphabet, so G, F, E, D, C, B, A. You'll get quicker at that as you go. You don't even need to have those skills to be very quick for what we're doing now, but I just wanted to show you. So if we're building that first C sharp minor chord like this, G sharp, C sharp, and E, if you have to build it one note at a time, which is what I expect a lot of you are going to need to be doing, you could find that C, B, A. Okay, this is a G. If we sharp something, we're going to go up to the very next key, or we could call that going up a half step. So G, G sharp. And then, oh, the next note of the chord is the C sharp. So, hey, there's our C. If we go up a half step, we got a C sharp. And then the E is natural. It's not sharp or flat, so that one is going to be a natural E. So sorry, my speaker is going crazy today. Hopefully it makes it through this video. Okay, so I'm going to play along with that verse and chorus progression a little bit, just so you can see what it sounds like and looks like when I play along with the recording. And we just keep doing that. B, E, A, F sharp, G sharp, and repeat. Okay? And yeah, the speaker really doesn't like me today. Okay, so that's the idea for the whole song, except the bridge. Well, there's a solo before the bridge. So when you hear the guitar doing all of that, that is just the same progression. It's still the same progression over and over again until we get to the bridge where she comes back in singing there. And then now you can see again on the page I wrote out for you the chords. So you see the line that I drew in the middle of the page. Then the bottom half is the bridge chords and how to build them. So we have a D, and then an A, E, and a B. So same thing. Let's just take that first chord so I can give you a jump start on it. So D. The notes for that chord are A, D, and F sharp, just like it is on the page, right? So most of these chords are going to be also, I should say, 1, 3, 5 as far as our finger numbers go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You should. That's something you want to know too. But some of the chords, like if I play the E chord, that one is a 1, 2, 5. So for all of these chords, they're either going to be 1, 3, 5 or 1, 2, 5. And it's really just based on the shape of the chords on the piano. So I'm not going to cover that in detail right now, but you can just decide whatever is most comfortable for you by the size and shape of the chord that you have to play on the piano. Okay, so again, the D chord, A, D, F sharp. And then if I just go to the next one in the bridge, that's the A, then we have A, C sharp, and E. So again, you can see we have our C, right, note, and then we sharp that. We raised it a half step, so there is our A major chord, and so on. I'm just going to skip to the last chord of the bridge because that's the only chord that's flat and has some flat notes in there. So A flat. Now, if we have a flat instead of a sharp, so if it was A sharp, we would go up, right? We raise it for sharps. If it's flat, we lower it a half step. So here's an A, and then there's our A flat. And then our middle note is that C, right? No sharp this time. That's on purpose. And then you see we have an E flat, right? So we got C, D, E, and then we flat it. So we put that all together. We got A flat, C, and E flat makes our A flat chord at the end of the bridge. So now let me just play the bridge for you and show you what's going on. And same thing for the left hand. Those are our bass notes. So we got D, A, E, B. The bass notes are easy. Whatever the name of the chord is, that's the note down here, somewhere in this area. And there's more than one right answer, which one you choose. But for a quick way, you can just follow how I'm playing it for you and demonstrating. Okay, so here comes the bridge. B, back to D, A, E, and here's the A flat. And we hold that one for 2 measures, and then it goes right back to the beginning chord progression. we just keep repeating it after that. Right? And then that's it. So that's how the song ends. And so there's really just those two chord progressions to the song. There's the chord progression of the verses and choruses, which are identical at the top of the page. And then just one time you do that bridge chord progression later on in the song. And that's all you need to know. If you guys understand that, you can just, build one chord at a time, learn the C sharp minor chord really well, and then the A chord, and so on, and just build them one at a time. It's going to take some time. And then once you memorize each of those chord shapes and where to move your hand, then you'll be able to, get it up to speed and to be able to play it in real time. So no matter what song you're learning on the piano, I always recommend to, learn one hand, learn the right hand, and then learn the left hand, and then put it together later. And also practice just one hand with the recording, and then switch and do the other hand with the recording. That's going to be the most fun way to practice any song until you can really put it all together and just fly through it and have a blast. And of course on YouTube you can slow down the speed. So let me see. I'm looking at a different screen right now and I almost forgot how to do it. Here we go. But here's an example. Most of the times I'll slow it down to 75% speed. That'd be a good practice tempo. Or 50%. You can do 50% with most songs, but some it'll even get warbly and weird sounding and you won't want to use it. But let me find a good spot. So I'll show you 75% speed. What that sounds like. Right, so you have that option, and that's one thing I love about YouTube is that that's easy to change the speed on there. Great for musicians. So this isn't necessarily one of my favorite songs in the world. I mean, it does have a great groove and melody, and that can't be denied. It kind of gets trapped in your head. But this was a song that I helped one of my students with, and oh, that's right. I was going to cover one last thing about sort of keyboard technique. But anyhow, this is a catchy song, so a lot of people like it. Whether you follow this artist or not, I don't know anything about her, Ava Max. Maybe this is the only song I've heard. I'm not even sure. But it's popular. A lot of people like it. A lot of kids like it. And you can probably see this isn't too hard to learn. What do we have? We got 5, maybe 7 chords in the song. Once you learn those 7 chords and 7 bass notes, then you've got the whole song. You just got to put it together. So it's really not rocket science. It's not that complicated as long as you can find those notes and chords on the keyboard. So that's why I wrote out this sheet to make it as easy as possible. So last thing I want to leave you with is, again, learning any pop song on the keyboard. Generally speaking, I usually say this E to E range, but it can be a little bit bigger than an octave. This is what we'd call an octave, would be going from one note to the same note, E to E. But usually, this is middle C, usually you're going to be building all of your chords in this area on the keyboard, around your middle C basically, but a little bit lower than that. Why? Because that's where they sound the best. Usually the melody is somewhere in this area. It all depends on the song, of course. And then the bass notes are down here. So that's just kind of the sweet spot for whether you're in a band or playing by yourself, like I said. So that's why this is really valuable information to know, and information that I didn't know for a long time, even years after I was doing it, nobody explained it to me that way. And then with the bass notes, you can play them in this area. So this is like the next octave down, or you can go even lower. And so now you're really in the range of the bass guitar down here. as far as where the low notes are generally played down in this next octave. So it's really just personal preference though. So one person might want to play the bass notes up here, and somebody else wants to play them nice and deep and low. So you have either option, and that really goes for any song. It's personal preference, it's what you want the sound to be like, what you want your piano accompaniment to sound like with the person that's singing, and sometimes it'll change in the middle of the song, if the song gets quieter or louder. So I'm going to talk about that more in more videos, I'm sure, and I have other videos that discuss that a little bit. But anyhow, I hope this was helpful for you to learn Kings and Queens, or share it with your friends, share it with somebody who might want to learn it on the keyboard. It's a free lesson. This is the exact sort of thing that I would teach in maybe a 30-minute lesson or more if somebody wants to keep working on it, to help them get it. And the only other thing we would do is maybe work with a metronome instead of just with the recording, just finding a specific click. I didn't figure out the tempo for this one, but so if it was somewhere around 128, which is just a guesstimate right now, we would try that. Might be a little bit fast, but we would practice that with a metronome too, because the metronome for any instrument is sort of your your personal coach that you can take with you everywhere to play, to work on your rhythm and to play in time better. And then when you play with the recording, for some people it's easier and for others it's harder, but the goal as a musician is to be able to switch back and forth, instantaneously, and do a great job either way. So that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.